This video is intended to be viewed by adult toy collectors and may contain questionable content and language. Viewer discretion is recommended. I make these videos for your enjoyment as well as my own. Greetings, Quentin-Rom here with a little guide on how to fix Super GoBot ZOD. If the on-off switch does not work, then it could be that there's no batteries in it. But if there are batteries and it still don't work, could be a problem with the inner switch mechanism, or the motor, or maybe the batteries are dead. But either way, if you do need to fix it, there are a few things you will need. You will need a sharp cutting tool and a screwdriver. And the size you will need is the TR10 star driver thingamajig. And you will need your GoBot, of course. First, make sure he is calm. The battery's been taken out. You've got him properly anesthetized, so he is sleepy. So you don't want him waking up and thrashing about while you're working on him. Once he is asleep, you will have to use your knife and cut the middle of this sticker and this sticker. Place on your surgical garments. And carefully from here, go right down the center towards the tip of the tail. And then this one, start from the base of the neck and work your way down. Then you want to place ZOD gently on his side, or turn him so that you can work on him and get access to his screw parts. And I made a little chart of showing where each of the screws are that you will need to loosen out. But before you do that, you want to take off his larger wheels. Gently grab both sides and give it this little slight twist and turns. Kind of give it little wiggles. Just wiggle, 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 wiggle. They are very, very tight and are most likely Loctited or super glued in, and it will detach from this side where the little threads are. And eventually it comes off. And hopefully you didn't damage that part too much, because you will have to stick it back in. And you can set those parts aside. And then you can begin screwing. There is a spring which you can just set back on here for now so you don't lose it. And you can begin taking his screws out. And there are two more screws on the opposite side, on his neck and side of his head. Both sides. The two screws on the right side of his face do not have to come out. They're like fake screws. As long as you took out the ones on the left, you should be all set and ready to split them in half. Just an added note, if your knife is sharp enough, then the little lines you made will be almost invisible once you stick them back together. And careful taking them apart, his mouth will come off. And there's this little piece, which I'll show you how to reattach afterwards. His front half will come out nice and easy. You can slide this wheel and front shaft out. Set those aside. Set this aside. And another word to note, all the screws are exactly identical, so if you accidentally get them all mixed up, don't worry. They're all the same size, same length, same threads. Now that that part's apart, you can separate the two halves. So this slides straight out, just like that. Set that half aside. And there you can see the inner motor. And apparently I got a couple pennies in here, maybe for counterbalance. There's your thing. This little piece just sits on there. And here you got battery cover, which can also be detached. Just slide it straight out. And in case a wire had detached, there's how it looks. There's the inner spring mechanism. Here's your switch. There are two screws that will have to be taken out. And the screw for the inner mechanism is the Phillips size 1. Nice little silver screw. As you can see, those are different from the outer screws, so no worries about getting them confused. This one up here, you do not have to remove that. Fit those two screws out. You can just easily slide this whole part out. Turn it around. You can see there's more wiring. So if any of those wires are detached, you'll have to resolder them. And for the switch part, see it goes up and down. See how this part pushes it? If for some reason these are spread too far apart, which would cause the tension to not touch, just kind of gently flex them back in until they are firmly touching. And let's get a better look at that. I'll take these two out so you can see it a little more clearly. And you can see that these two would make contact when it's in the on position, and it would be separated when you press it off. And sometimes over time this flexes a little bit. Just kind of flex them inward so that they're touching when you're not touching it. And then just stick everything all back together. And in the event that your motor is just stuck, see that little brass colored gear? Just grab a little tool, kind of push that white part, kind of get it to turn, and that should free up any stick from the motor being inactive for a number of years. And if you did all that, it should start working as soon as you reassemble everything. Just reverse everything you did to take it apart. And make sure that your white wire is not over or underneath the switch. And you should be good. When reassembling the head, you got this little piece. Have it in this position, right here like that. And put the jaw so everything is like this. And it should kind of look like that when it's done. And then carefully put everything back together. Remember to put that piece in. Carefully put this part in, and then you can put this in. And this part. Sorry, put this part in here first, then assemble it to the main body. Put your wheel together in first, and feel free to get the wheels cleaned up really good before putting them back on, in case they're dirty and cruddy and full of dirt and crud. Once after you've gotten all the screws in, you can do a little test. Stretch him out like that, put his mouth open, and it should close his mouth once it goes down. If that's all good, then you should be all set. Stick his back wheels on. When reassembling the wheel, make sure you put that part, serrated part in, fit touching this serrated part. Then you take your little spring and stick it in on this side, and then press the wheel together. Kind of give it a little wiggle to go back in, and then just firmly and gently press it together, tight as you can, and it should be all good. And it should click just like that. And if you want, you can add a little Loctite in there just to help make sure it stays on, but it should stay on its own. And you should be good. Test it out with batteries and see if it works. Just open up that part, and you want to use 1, 2, 3 size C batteries. Stick them in there like so. And then the middle one going the opposite direction. Alright, once you got everything assembled properly and you got batteries that are not dead and everything was put together correctly, all the screws are nice and firmly snugged in, and do make sure that this screw lines up, fit the little white peg that's inside there. And if it does, everything should function right. Mouth should open when it lifts up. You should hear a little cranking. And all you gotta do is press this button down, and there should be a loud noise for anybody wearing headphones. I do hope this video was helpful for anybody needing to do repairs on your Super GoBot ZOD. And thank you to all my subscribers who have been watching my videos, leaving likes, leaving comments. And this particular video I dedicate to YouTuber Patriot Prime, who recently got a ZOD and needs to fix it. I hope this helps him out. And anybody else who finds this video helpful. Thank you for staying all the way to the end and watching my little tutorial repair guide. This has been a Quentin-Rom video production. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember to remove your batteries when storing your toys for a long time. And always remember, be nice to your toys.